Hey, everybody, I'm Leon Thomas. Welcome to another episode of Real Thoughts and Conversations. We weren't supposed to do any more shows until September. Our company, the Leon Thomas Group, was on hiatus for July and August, doing some serious planning for our upcoming podcast and webinar season. And as I was scrolling through Facebook, someone that's been on our show many times, Tanya Henry, had a post about gastroparesis, and that August is Gastroparesis Awareness Month. And so, to help bring awareness to gastroparesis and what it is and what folks can do to help and the importance of awareness, we decided to have this show tonight. So as you're watching and listening to the conversation that we'll have with Tanya and someone else that with this condition, her name is Michelle. As we're having this conversation, if you have questions, comments, even support statements that you'd like to make, be sure to go ahead and put those in the comments section. Let's first introduce Tanya Henry. Tanya, how are you? Good evening. Welcome to Real Thoughts and Conversations. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing tonight?
I'm well. I'm well.
Yes.
Now, I want to set the tone so that everyone understands we're cousins, right?
Yeah.
And I just found out, I guess, last year through a post that you made on Facebook that you have the illness called gastroparesis and some other rare diseases as well, right?
Yes.
So we message each other. I'm like, what is this? And you explained it to me, and it's like, I have this, and so can you tell us, give us a description of what gastroparesis is?
Well, gastroparesis is a functional gastrointestinal disorder, and gastroparesis it means paralysis of the stomach. So my stomach does not work like it should. For me, it affects also my esophagus and my colon as well. So everyone's not the same, but for me, mine is pretty severe, and I'm on IV nutrition. I have a port in which I hook up every day to do various IV meds along with my TPN, which is total parental nutrition, or um, it's also called home parental or home nutrition. So some
Hmm.
people call it HPN, some people call it PN or
Hmm.
TPN, and I've been
Okay.
on that for 4 years.
All right. Now, it's a rare condition, right? Do you
Yes.
know the statistics on how many people in the United States have gastroparesis?
I know that they say that around 200,000 are diagnosed each year, or a little bit less than 200,000, which is why it's
Okay.
considered rare disease. And it's
Hmm.
also considered an orphan condition, which means because so few people have gastroparesis, there are not a lot of treatments, and there is no cure for it either. So
Hmm.
that's why it's considered an orphan disease or illness.
Okay. Now, the next guest I'd like to introduce and bring into the studio is Michelle Montgomery. Hi, Michelle. Good evening. Welcome to Real Thoughts and Conversations. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing well. Thank you for spending time with us in this conversation. So now, Michelle, we were talking before the show that you have gastroparesis as well,
I
and
do.
you just heard me talking with Tanya about how many people have it, and it's how rare it is. But the two of you live within a mile of each other,
Yes.
Yeah, we
right?
do.
So that's rare. I mean, you think about how rare it is, but then how many folks in that proximity would have the same disease? Michelle, tell me about how you met Tanya.
I actually met Tanya through the support group of our Texas support group on Facebook, and I got really close to her there. And then we did a meet and greet. We do these kind of meet and greets where we meet at Starbucks or we meet at Barnes and Nobles, and it's just kind of a way for us to like connect with others who have it in this area. And that's how I came into contact with Tanya, and we've been close ever since.
Hmm. So y'all met each other through the Facebook group, right? And what I want to do, if we could show that Facebook group name again, please, and let's leave it up there a bit. On Facebook, if you go to Gastroparesis Support Group Texas, so if anyone has gastroparesis, you can go there. Particularly if you're in Texas, you can get some information and have some conversation. It's always good to talk with others that are going through the same things as you are. Now, Michelle, can let me ask you this. You have this disease. How long has it been since you were diagnosed with it?
I was diagnosed January 2014 with this.
All right. And Tanya, how about you? How long ago was it that you were diagnosed?
Well, we were actually diagnosed, I guess, around the same time because mine was like December 2013, January 2014 timeframe.
Uh-huh. Okay. And now I want to, for our audience, I want to set up a path so that they can understand about it, thinking about some of the symptoms and so forth. So, what happened? What is the first thing that happened? What was like one or give me, Tanya, you give me two or three symptoms, and then Michelle, you give me a couple as well. Tanya, you first.
For me, I ended up first having, I think, constipation, and that just did not go away. Secondly, I started having the nausea, the pain, and then came the vomiting last for me.
All right. And I mean, Michelle, what are some other symptoms that you had?
Mine was very different. Mine was started with the nonstop vomiting. I was losing weight nonstop. I mean, we tried everything. We thought it could be a pregnancy test or H. pylori. Like we tried it all, thinking it could be anything else. And it started with the vomiting. The vomiting was really bad, and the weight loss.
Okay. All right. Weight loss and vomiting. So you both eventually were diagnosed with the same thing, but you didn't have you didn't have all of the same symptoms, right?
Right.
So just like many other diseases, when you have check, that means you have, right? This is different. And so Michelle, when you started having all of these symptoms, right? You go to your doctor, and what happened? What did the doctor say?
I got pushed back so many times. I tried to go to a first doctor and get their opinion, and it was just, maybe you're pregnant. Like, are you sure? Have we not done the test 15 other times? Let's try it again. Like, maybe we missed it. And it was no, I wasn't pregnant. And then there's a bacteria that lives in your esophagus, and it's called H. pylori, but it's normally there, but it can make you sick. So they thought that was it. And we tried everything, and then they finally approached me and said, there's this really rare disease. We don't think that's what it is, but we're going to run the test for it, and we'll let you know, because I was inpatient during my diagnosis.
Hmm. Okay. And Tanya, tell us about you. So you go to the doctor. Did you get the same thing, or was it different for you?
It was much different. I don't know how long it took for Michelle to be diagnosed, but my journey actually started in 1995 after I came back from Saudi Arabia. And so they just kept saying, oh, you probably have a virus. Let's just give you, some meds. You just need rest. Do this, do that. And so no one ever thought about doing anything like that. I didn't even know what gastroparesis was until he did the test, and he said, we're going to do the gastric emptying study, but you probably don't have it, but we're just going to rule it out. He said, I will call you in 3 days to let you know the results. That afternoon, he gives me a call and says, hey, you have gastroparesis. I'm ordering this medicine for you right now because you have severe gastroparesis. Let's just try this. So
Yeah.
it took 17 years to get a proper diagnosis for me.
17 years. And Michelle, how long was it for you to get properly diagnosed?
Um, this started when I deployed, and I deployed in 2010. I came back in 2011, so give or take 2 or 3 years.
Hmm.
Nothing like Tanya's, not 17 years.
Yeah. Oh, is there any evidence, research that says that, since you're both veterans, is there any research that says that this is something that you obtained, contracted overseas?
I know back in the beginning, there was nothing, they were not giving us a service connection for anything like that. But I think it was either 2018, 2019, they came out and added stuff for Gulf War illness. And it's not specifically gastroparesis, but they say functional GI disorders. And so in 2019, I put in a new claim because my first claim, when they told me that you probably just have IBS or whatever, they denied it and said it's not service connected. But then in 2019, a VA rep told me, you have this, you need to go ahead and put in a new claim because it should get approved, because now they have found a link between the Gulf and even the people who have served in the recent conflicts and wars. They are all coming down with these same things because it's the same area. And so then when I got my paperwork back, they said that I actually had like autonomic dysfunction secondary to Gulf War syndrome. And a part of the autonomic dysfunction is gastroparesis.
Okay. Okay. Now, so tell the audience, and Michelle, we'll start with you first. Well, first, Michelle, let me ask you this. I know, Tanya, you have some other illnesses. Tanya, do you have anything else that you're receiving treatments for? Anything else that's rare?
I have a couple of rare diseases. I have primary immunodeficiency. I have mast cell activation syndrome, in which pretty much anything is like an allergen to me. And I have had anaphylaxis and severe reactions to even an osteoporosis medicine. So I have Ehlers-Danlos as well, which is a connective tissue disorder. And when I got COVID, because of the immunodeficiency, I ended up with something else that's rare called HLH, which is hemophagocytic lymphohistiocytosis, and had to have a bone marrow biopsy to see if I needed chemo to resolve that.
Okay. And what about you, Michelle? Any other conditions?
No, I'm currently being checked for POTS, but that's a very common condition with patients with gastroparesis.
Okay.
I don't know what it stands for. I'm sorry.
And what's it called again?
POTS.
POTS. Okay.
It's
I think Tanya knows. I was going to say Tanya might know.
Yeah, that's also a form of autonomic dysfunction, but it's called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to take a break in a couple of minutes, but I want y'all to tell me about your shirt. So, production team, if you can take me out. Let's go. Well, not yet. Let me take me, man. They're like happy to do that. Michelle, did you see that? See that? These are people on my payroll. I said, take me out. They go, you're gone. Tanya, you see how they treat your cuz around here?
I see.
And I got to deal with this every day. Take me out. You're gone, man. So once I am out of the picture, Michelle, let's start with you. You tell us some about the shirt, and then Tanya, you tell us some about the shirt. Then, production team, please bring me back on. Go ahead, take me out now.
Okay, so you can probably see Tanya's better, but it's supposed to be what you see on the surface. Because when you see on the surface of mine, you have I'm backwards, sorry. You have the semicolon for mental health awareness. The heart is always in the middle of the fight. And then I have a tube as well. Sorry, I'm backwards. It's confusing. But the idea is that gastroparesis is a rare disease. So this is what everybody sees on the surface. But what they don't see on the surface is what makes us up to be who we are without the disease. So like in mine, I have like a little fur mom, or like I have a heart for like my husband, or like I like to craft, so I put a bow. But it's what people don't see when they see all the tubes and all the TPN. It's something that they don't see within. They just see the gastroparesis.
And Michelle didn't say this, but she's the one that made the shirts. And so like she was saying, We both have rare diseases, and as a rare disease person, our colors are black and white, which is why you see that. And our animal is known as the zebra because, when you see a zebra, you think like hoof prints and stuff. But the zebra is the animal for rare disease. And you see TPN on my shirt because I'm on IV nutrition. Then I have a heart just like hers. This little clasp is, like you open it up and then you see all that makes us up. I have grandkids. So you see you can't really see it, but it's the little baby face right there. Then I like to bake, even though I don't eat. I like to sing. So I have a microphone. I love watching movies. I love listening to music. And last but not least, well, no, not last. I have a cross that's over here. I have US Army, and I have a feeding tube also in my stomach, like Michelle.
Hmm. And so, whenever when we look at folks and we understand that they have a disease, they have an illness, so often it's so easy to focus on that they suffer with, and we forget that you are people. We are people, right? That we have a heart. There's other things that you do, things that you are involved in. There are hobbies that you have, and you want to be able to continue those because those are important to you, just like coaching racquetball is something that's important to me, right? We all have that thing, and so often that's forgotten with folks that have rare conditions or any conditions. We say, oh, they have cancer, they have this, they have that, but you know what? They have a life, right? They have other things. They are a person, and it's so important that we remember that. So thank you for sharing your what's on your shirts. Here's what we're going to do now. We're going to take a short 45-second break. Short break for 45 seconds. Then we're going to come back and we want to talk about the awareness month and what happened, the proclamation in Texas, and what everyone can do to help bring awareness to gastroparesis. I'm Leon Thomas. You're watching Real Thoughts and Conversations. We're here with Michelle Montgomery and Tanya Henry talking about gastroparesis, and August is Gastroparesis Awareness Month. We'll be right back after this 45-second break. Here we go.
I'm Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group. Podcast, virtual events, webinars, streaming shows, and so much more. We want to be your partner in all things virtual.
I'm Leon Thomas. Welcome again to Real Thoughts and Conversations. This show is a production of the Leon Thomas Group. As you saw there in the ad, you can go to our website, theleonthomasgroup.com. But here's what I want you to do also. If you know of someone that needs to bring awareness to a project that they're doing or a rare condition they have or whatever it is and they need some exposure, please ask them to contact me here at the Leon Thomas Group. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can go to YouTube and find some of the other projects that we've talked about before, and maybe we can put you on the list to bring you on the show as well. Let's bring back Tanya Henry and Michelle Montgomery. Thank you both again for being with us. And so, Tanya, last week I think it was, I'm scrolling through Facebook that looks kind of weird if you do that without your phone in your hand. So I was strolling. Here we go. I was scrolling through Facebook, and I see a picture of you, Michelle. You're in the photo also, right? Where you there's a picture talking about it's August is Gastroparesis Awareness Month, and there you are with the mayor and a judge in Killeen, Texas. And here's what I said when I saw that. I said, "That's my cousin." Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, wait, what's this about? I didn't even look to see what it was about yet first. Then I read Gastroparesis Awareness Month. Oh, we have to do something. So how did that come about? How did that happen? What was the I mean, how did that all happen there? It's great that it did. Tell us the process of what happened and what you hope to have happen there.
Well, I reached out to the mayor's office and I emailed the office and I wrote up, or actually, it's a proclamation that I have seen someone else use, like you have your whereas, such and such. And so I submitted all of that information. I changed a few things on it, sent it over to the mayor's office. And then they reached out back to me and said, hey, yes, the mayor said this is something that she can do. We can do it on such and such day. And I'm like, hey, Michelle, we got this opportunity, and you'll have an opportunity to speak and say a few words, about yourself and all. So I said, are you ready? Do you want to come? And she's like, yeah, anything.
Oh, that is great. Yeah. It's so cool that you're helping to bring awareness to this. So Michelle, what was it like? Tanya calls you and says, we have this opportunity. Tell me what went through your mind right at that moment, Michelle.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go. We lack so much awareness. I mean, I go to doctor's appointments oftentimes and I get, what's gastroparesis? Like, I've been sent on a referral to see you for this illness, and half the time the doctor doesn't know. So any opportunity that we have to jump to spread more awareness, I will gladly take it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to spread as much as we can because we need at least treatment. If not a cure, we at least need some treatment.
Right. Yeah, yeah. It needs to be aware. People need to know about it. And I'll tell you what, when I looked at the Facebook post and I saw the picture of you receiving the proclamation, and I thought, here's a town in Texas. How big is Killeen? What's the population?
I think the population is high because of Fort Hood, but
yeah, I don't know the exact population now, but I'm from, I think it's about 75,000, 80 some thousand people, but I know it's at least 4 times as big as where I'm from in North Carolina.
Where are you from in North Carolina?
Roxborough.
Oh, that's a suburb of Virginia, Virginia. That's right. It is small. Yes, but see, here's the thing though. If a town like Killeen, 75,000 people, can take the time to do something to help spread awareness about gastroparesis, why can't other cities do the same thing? Right?
Yeah,
Listen,
definitely.
I'm in Baltimore. We have the University of Maryland Hospital. We have Johns Hopkins, and I could go on and on with the list of hospitals that we go to, right? And I go on the Hopkins website yesterday trying to find gastroparesis, and it came up in a search and go to this doctor, but it didn't give a lot of detailed information about it, at least the search that I did. And maybe somebody else is a better internet user than I am, and that's fine if you see it. But I don't know that in Maryland, I've never heard of us having a gastroparesis awareness month, right? I never even heard of it until last year, Tanya, when based on your post. So folks need to be aware of this, because when more people become aware of it, that's when money starts to roll,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when money starts to roll with people that need assistance to live, to take care of things. That's when you get the money. So if you're watching now, right, and you didn't watch any other part of the show, take this link and spread it somewhere else. Just post it somewhere, right? You don't even have to understand what it is. Look, I'm Leon. I'm not going to do anything bad to you. That's Tanya. That's Michelle. They have gastroparesis. Look it up. Find out what it is. Just share it. We're trying to bring awareness to this illness, is what we're trying to do. Now, how about like federal agencies? How about Congress, senators, anyone like that? Michelle, has there any contact been made with any of the folks in one of the politicians in the area?
Actually, yes, we did a March on Washington. I want to say it was 2019. We did this. I personally wasn't able to attend because of gastroparesis, but I know a lot of our groups went down there, and a lot of them shared stories in front of Congress. Like we set up. I don't know if we set up how close we set up to the White House, but they were in front of the White House, and they also had like a little kind of like live setup, and they were showing like their loved ones, because a lot of them have lost family members due to this illness. So that was the only thing that I personally know of, is that March on Washington, we did have a lot of gastroparesis patients show up.
Okay, all right. And Tanya, what about you? Have you had any meetings or Zoom meetings, anything with anyone else in that level of government to help spread awareness here?
I have actually last week I participated in I think it was called Rare Disease Advocacy Week, and I am part of Rare Disease Legislative Advocates. So I had a meeting with one of the senators here, Senator Cornyn. Me and about 10 other people, we met with his health staffer, and I actually told my story, which was about 3 minutes long, asking him to join the Rare Disease Congressional Caucus. And, I told them why I think he should join. I don't know if he will actually join, but, I just said, joining this caucus, will allow us to address barriers that we face in research. Like you were saying, we got to have that money. And in order to get the money, you got to have the people who are on board, the people that have the money to put the money into it. And there needs to be more education. If there's no education, how are you going to research things that you don't even know about or that you don't understand? And so, in order to get like the politicians on board and to make healthcare changes in the laws, they have to understand what's going on. And that's why it's important for them to join this caucus, because there are over, I believe, 30 million rare diseases. And most of them, I think there's only like 3 to 5% that have a cure. So, we need that help. We need help of the legislators. We can't do it on our own. I mean, we're voicing our opinions and telling about our story, but we need the people in power to actually do something to help us.
That's needed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, if someone wants to find out more information about gastroparesis, or they think that someone in their family may have it, what are some resources, or tell me everywhere that they could go to? I know we talked about the Facebook page, but there are also some websites and organizations that they could contact. One of them is gpac.org. What is that? One of you to please tell us what happens there. Who's that for? What does that do?
Well, there's a lot at gpac.org. I know personally, I have sent a lot of friends to gpac.org, specifically because they take every state, and then people, report to them, hey, I saw this person for gastroparesis and it actually helped. So they've compiled a list per state for a gastroparesis specialist in your area. And I think that's great, because all of us are like, well, where do we go next? Do we go see GI? And like with lack of awareness, GI doesn't know what to do. So you got to kind of look at, well, what other doctors have people seen? And they have compiled a list. You can go to their website, and under your state, you click on your state, and all the doctors appear per area that can help you with the illness. And I think that's amazing that they do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there was another site as well, Tanya. You shared that one with me, oli.org. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
Oli.org is an organization not just for people with gastroparesis, but for people with any kind of intestinal disorder, like Crohn's disease, anyone who's on an ostomy, who uses an ostomy bag, who has feeding tubes, TPN. If you have questions, the Oli Foundation has a list of advocates that have experience with each of those different things. I'm actually one of the advocates, so people can actually look up my contact information on there. People can email me, and I can help them out as best that I can. There's also like a supply, not exchange, but it's like they have a supply area. So if patients have extra supplies, they can post them on there. Someone needs it, they can reach out to the organization, or you can actually look on there to find what you need. Then you contact that person, and you and that person do like a one-on-one supply exchange. They'll mail it to you, you pay shipping, you get it, and it's done. So they just host a place for you to add whatever you need. The Oli Foundation does webinars. We just had our annual conference. It was actually in St. Louis. I would have loved to have gone, but I didn't get a chance to go this year. I did help collect all of the raffle items, but I didn't make it. There's just a lot of different stuff on there. There's education. You can reach out to the Oli staff, and they can help you try to find a doctor or whatever you need also. So just another great resource.
I want to go back to a statement I made. I just received a text message from a friend who works at a hospital in Baltimore who's watching the show now. And he said that, no, Leon, that wasn't Hopkins we were talking about. So it's not Johns Hopkins. He said, no, Hopkins has a lot of resources. There was another hospital that he would have expected to see something, and he and I both were looking. That hospital doesn't have it. And so legally, it's not Hopkins. Hopkins, you're good. We like you, Hopkins. I was wrong. Okay, did you hear that? I was wrong. Wow, my production staff is like, what? Leon, wrong? Yes, I was wrong. But there is another hospital in the area that did not have information about it. So my apologies to the Johns Hopkins Hospital. I was incorrect in that. So now that takes care of that. All right. So, Michelle, I'm going to give you the floor, the screen for a minute, minute and a half, and take longer if you want to. For folks that need to hear this, tell us what we can do to help, who we should contact, how do we handle it? Tell us everything that we can do to help bring awareness to gastroparesis, and then Tanya will come to you for the same thing. Michelle, go ahead.
I think a lot of what we could do to even raise awareness is just inform people what it is. A lot of times we go to, like I said, we go to doctors or we talk to friends and we've been diagnosed and we have gastroparesis, and they're like, we don't know what that is. And I think talking about it, or even, just, I don't know, as far as I would say, contact your congressman, write them a note. If you or your loved one is struggling with gastroparesis, write them a letter on how it's kind of like affected your life, to give them like your story kind of set up. But that's the best thing you can do, is write your congressman and tell them that there's an issue. The only way we can get it addressed is if somebody with more power sees this.
All right, Tanya, go ahead.
I would say one thing that I do, some people aren't comfortable sharing on their personal Facebook page. They share only with those in our support group. But I feel like it's important to also share with those that know you. Some people may not even know all that your illness may encompass. So I'm freely sharing on my Facebook page. I actually made an awareness video, a short, like I think 2.5-minute video on YouTube. And I shared it with some friends, and they were like, it was a good video, but I just couldn't finish it because it's just so sad. And I'm like, well, that's my life. I said, I'm sorry if it's sad to you, but those are the things that I go through. I didn't put just sad things in it. I put happy moments too, but I'm just showing that this is all that I go through. I have happy moments, I have horrible moments. Like this year, I was in the hospital 23 days, and it wasn't the best, but I made the most of it. And there is not a time that you wouldn't see me smiling, even in the hospital. And I also think that, like she said, you need to reach out to your congressman. Something that I did, think about the beginning of August, was I went to the Texas legislative page, and I found like all the health staffers and the ones that were on the different health committees and different things. And I actually sent all of them a letter. I got, of course, the thing back saying, we value your input. Thank you for reaching out to us. If there's anything we can do to help you, please don't hesitate to let us know. And I'm just like, I'm letting you know now, what can you do to help me? Or you can also join in on different advocacy days, share information by reaching out to them during like Rare Disease Day or Rare Advocacy Day, different things like that. Advocacy on the Heel Day. There's different things that you can do. All you have to do is just type in Google advocacy efforts, healthcare advocacy efforts in my area, and just see what pops up. Also, this year for gastroparesis, every year we have a theme, and this year the thing is hashtag GP gastroparesis full life for me. So just showing people your full life, and just know that gastroparesis nor anything else will stop you from doing all that you can.
Oh, give me the hashtag again, please.
It is hashtag GP full life 4 with the number 4 me.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'd also like to yours, Tanya, that wearing green too. Like as you see in our shirts, we have green is Gastroparesis Awareness Month, and I always tell my friends if they could go green for me, and I get a lot of people that go green, but when they post it to their Facebook, they post it using our hashtags. So if people want more information, they can click on our hashtags. That'll take them to more information about the illness.
Okay. All right. And Tanya, you mentioned the video that you have. Is this the one that's titled My Gastroparesis Journey?
Is I think the one for this year, I entitled it like Gastroparesis Awareness 2023.
Yes. May I play it?
Sure.
Yeah, we can get that going here. Production team, hang with me a second. Keep me on, and we'll go ahead and run this here.
Hi, everybody. It's me, your chronically ill soldier, coming at you again with a updated gastroparesis awareness video for 2023. In this video, I will be discussing or showing you just a little snippet of my life, things that have gone on from August 2022 through current July 2023. There's so much that goes on every year, and it's hard to make a video to show you everything. So in this little video, I will just give you a little snippet of what has been going on with like medicines and just different changes. You will see it in my different photos and stuff. So I thank you for always tuning in, watching my videos, and I hope you will continue to be a part of my channel. Thank you all, and I hope to see your comments and things soon. Thank you. Bye.
Tanya, thank you. Thank you for doing that video and for sharing with us.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing there. Now, I got another text message. I don't, and fine, people are texting me. That's cool. But the question was, is there an organization that they can donate to if they want to provide funding? Is there somewhere that someone can go to say, I want to support bringing awareness to this? What do they do? Where do they go to donate? Michelle, um,
I would say gpac.org. That is my number one place when it comes to gastroparesis and like awareness or treatment options or any information they can get their hands on, they put on that site to help as many patients as they can. So that organization is very dear to my heart.
okay, all right, all right, good. So to my friend in Buffalo that's watching this, go to gpac.org and make that donation to help others. So
I would just say one other that I would add, because this is one that I'm involved heavily in, and I'm an ambassador for them, is the Oli Foundation. And that's the www.oli.org. They do a lot. And they also, like, for people who can't afford to go to their conferences, they also have money that's donated, like where people can apply and get a stipend at certain times. And they do a lot of free stuff too. When I first got my feeding tube and I was given the pump, I didn't have a backpack or anything to put it in. And I was actually told by a worker at the VA that, I don't need a backpack because that's why I have a disability, because I'm supposed to stay home. And I'm like, no, I still have appointments. I have to go. So they gave me a free backpack. I didn't have to pay shipping or anything. They just mailed it to me from the office in New York. And so I got that free backpack. So I'm always like, if you need something and if they have it, they will reach out and give it to you. So
okay.
I just appreciate the Oli Foundation.
All right, great. That's good to know. Thank you. Michelle Montgomery and Tanya Henry, thank you both for being with us tonight on Real Thoughts and Conversation as we try to bring awareness to gastroparesis here in August, which is Gastroparesis Awareness Month. Thank you both for being with us. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, Tanya. Now, don't leave because we're going to talk to you some in the green room once we sign off here, folks. Thanks for watching this episode of Real Thoughts and Conversation, where we talked about gastroparesis. Again, if you want to support bringing awareness to this illness, there are two websites you could go to. One of them is Oli, that's www.oley.org, and the other is gpact.org, that's g-pact.org. Let's bring awareness to this. Let's contact everybody that we can. Let's get some funding for research, supplies, and let's help folks. I'm Leon Thomas. Thanks for watching Real Thoughts and Conversations. We'll see you next time. Take care.